So give them a big round of applause. Give them a thumbs up, kids, and a wave on the back. Look at that smile. The fabulous Ella Gilligan. Here comes the big man from up north. It's hanging loose. Mr. Thomas D, ladies and gentlemen. The TJD racing entry. The beautiful Riley Bride in Fat Chance. And there's a big smile on VO240, race number 17. It is Miss Scarlett Gilligan, ladies and gentlemen. Have a look at this one, our youngest competitor, boat number 99, Sienna King. That has been our Formula Future series for this weekend. I'm sure they'll love you to come over and check out the boats in pit lane. Formula 4, ladies and gentlemen, taking their starting lap, so their warm-up. They will come back to the dock, and this is the big final. So points accumulate across the weekend. It all comes down to this one, the bonus points for round number 2 of the Australian Formula Powerboat Grand Prix Series. A great field of young drivers. I think this is the first season for all 4 of these drivers, in fact. So, first hit out for all 4 of these guys. Don't be surprised to see these young guns in the very near future taking on the likes of Prix and Simon Troy in the big leagues. Formula 4 is an international category, so race all around the world, and it is a breeding ground of the top tier of drivers, the F1 H2O World Championship Series. Shout out to a couple of Australians that are involved in that series. Craig Bailey has been heavily involved as an engine builder and technician for one of the lead teams. And of course, Mr. Brock Cohen. representing Australia over there very shortly. I think about 4 weeks for the next international Formula One Grand Prix Championships. Oh, is he actually winning? And the big announcement, of course, is Grant Trask joining the Gilman race team. So there will be not 1 but 2 Australian drivers next time we go racing in F1 H2O. It's an unbelievable series. Jump on Facebook if you want to follow on. So it's starting to get very, very quiet over on the starting block. Out of pole 1 is the Phantom, Lofty Bright. The white button with a green flash. So he's accumulated enough points to get himself into pole position. Pole 2. Carlin Bailey in the Queen B. Pole 3.
Oh, right, thanks.
The white Mulwala with the blue flash. On Tyler Gilligan. Naomi Gilligan in the waders over there, hanging on to the side. 2 flags and Maxi Cook is maxed out. Pole 1 flag down. We've got, here we go, they are away. Great start from Gilligan. Tell you what, Queen B's got a good job as well. There's nothing between all 4 of them. I reckon Queen B's got the early lead, but the Phantom has shown a bit of boat pace, so there's going to be a bit of pressure here. They've got to hold a straight line all the way out to those 2 yellow cans. Gilligan is opening up the corner a little bit there. We want to straight line it a little bit now. He'll go around, so I think we're going to have Pride go around inside. It's a bit hard for this angle. Here we go. Pride goes around. Carlin Bailey just to the outside. They are shoulder to shoulder. Bailey with a good charge down the outside. He's going to put himself right up on the shoulder. Here we go. There's a big run out wide from Tyler Gilligan as well. So they're going to be 3 wide as we go through. Oh, we've got a hook. So Lucky Bride has hooked the nose. That boat is the inside sponsor grabbing. Gets it back under control, but here he's kicking himself in that one. Carlin Bailey, cool head out in front now. He's under massive pressure on the outside from Tyler Gilligan. So Tyler Gilligan now steps to the inside. So a bit of early tactics from young Gilligan. Settles and needs to settle the nose that ball going down. We'll take a breath for these young guys. 15, 16 years laid out here right now. Straight line it all the way through. The Queen B just emerged beautifully into turn number 1. There goes Bailey through. Gilligan, a little bit of a wider line, so you'll have good big corner face, pull that face to the back street. Maxi Cook running a very, very nice line through turn number 1. And the Phantom, Lofty Bride, have to make up some ground now after that uncharacteristic error. Under massive pressure, and that can be what happens. We saw that all through the Formula GP series. 3 votes wide for these young competitors. That's a lot to ask for. Carlin Bailey really settling the Queen B down very, very nicely. He's got a little bit of a gap, so the early pressure in that race came to a point where Lucky Bride in the band. Now remembering that Lucky Bride, that inside sponsor does not have a standard tip on it, so that will potentially play the part of that. The square tip on the part of that typical just picking up, so he's all good though, so back on pace, so he's going to try and hunt down Maxi Cook in front of him. But your race leader right now, right number 3, 2, 1, the Queen B. Carlin Bailey goes through very nicely. Tyler Gilligan, the mile guard, just steps to the outside of the wash. Trying to run a one clean line. As he goes through Max Cook, that's watching now, so it goes a little bit wider out, so a little bit conservative from Maxi. Just getting a handle of his boat, he's driving a while. Gains he has made between the first time I saw him in this boat only a few short weeks ago, but now it's absolute chalk and cheese. Just got the boat hanging beautifully. Back there is the maxed out machine. Riding the Phantom, so a little bit of top end boat speed, so potential colour, big difference in these two. Watch the battle here now around turn number 3. So the outside is Cook, the inside is the Phantom, so the inside run there, so difficult to judge the angles from here. They're both through cleanly, so well done to those two. Bailey now needs to settle into a routine. Keep the heart rate, keep the heart rate down, hands light on the wheel, take a deep breath. Land your approach the corner, settles the boat in nicely. Stays hard on the throttle through there. Gilligan is in clean as well. Right into the Phantom, the green and white machine coming on strong. Maxi very, very nice through there. So tight that line up a little bit that time through. So experimenting with different lines. That's good to see for the young driver. Max is actually the youngest driver in this field out here. Stats have a look like we've got some times from up there in Sydney, New South Wales. So, in front of the field is Carla Bailey. We saw how quickly that they can make a slight error that costs you big time, so he'll need to keep a very cool head. Real competitor is Carla Bailey, so plays a lot of sport. Loves a bit of pressure in what he does, and he's doing it very nicely right now. Conditions just about perfect for this category, so just a gentle breeze, a little chop on top of the water, and you can hear the thunder of these F4 tunnel holes. About 70 miles an hour, so well over 100 miles an hour, about 115 k's an hour in these straights. These things are pulling. These 60 Merc Racing 4-stroke EFI engines. Ride through nicely, so not settling the boat hard, so running a flat and fast line, so really trying to make it up, and got a lot of ground to cover. So 5 minutes down, 5 minutes to run, it's a 10-minute final. So fatigue does play a role. We know that the concentration is critical, so you just got to keep yourself nice and relaxed in these cockpits. A pretty tough working environment, so pretty tight cockpits. You're wearing a 5-point harness, so you're strapped in tight. You've got a harness device on, face mask to run your air system, so a lot going on. Cabin temperatures get pretty warm out there as well. Driver's wearing a full flame resistant suit. So Carl and Bailey, Queen Bee, through nicely. Tyler Gilligan on a little bit of a push now, so that Mulwala a little bit more aggressive as he came into that corner, so leaving it a little bit later to settle the boat down. Just going to try and make it up, and that's the way you're going to have to do it in F4. You're only going to make up maybe 1 or 2 tenths a lap to move yourself up on the on your competition. Equally matched engine, so no horsepower advantage, so it really comes down to just getting it as smooth and as clean as you can. Bailey now opting for a big wide sweeping line in turn number 3, so that seems to be the fastest way through for these guys, because all these drivers tend to do up that little bit of a wobble out of there. You can see the rooster tail in boat number 2 of Epic, so a little bit of feathering out behind the engine, meaning the boat not settling as quickly, much better that time through, so just about perfect on the way out of that corner there from Ty Gilligan. Prix just building a little bit now. Lockie Bride in the Phantom. You can see fighting a little bit wounded, that inside sponson with the temporary point on it, so a bit more of a blunt end, so no, I wouldn't hazard a guess that hasn't helped to trip that boat over. Max Cook. Cook Fencing, the major sponsor of Maxi Cook. 15 years old from the Picnic Point High School. Doing it beautifully right now. So we watch him through this double can, so a slight left hand, a bit of a drift around in the back straight, the Mercury Racing back straight. So clock's ticking down. Total race time for this one, 10 minutes. We've been running 7 minutes all weekend, so that extra 3 minutes. Fatigue starts to settle in a little bit. This right-hander, this angle from the bank here doesn't do it justice. It's actually a pretty tight turn, and these boats really don't like that direction change to the right. You can turn hard left all day, as Carl and Bailey demonstrates beautifully around 1. Trying to guide these boats through that right-hander is a real challenge. They unweights the boat on the wrong side. You see that not only in the S4, but also in the Formula GP. Now that wind's stiffening a little bit, so the driver's got to be aware of that in this back straight. So they'll be at maximum velocity from about this point on as we watch Gilligan go through those double cans. Just eyes on the water in front of you. You can see the wind as it comes across the lake towards you, and you've got to make sure that you account for those wind gusts. Potentially just a quick tap on the trim, settle the nose of the boat down, as you enter the wind gusts to make sure you don't get too much lift. Bailey through turn 4 very nicely. Tyler Gilligan's going nowhere, so he'll know he's got a bit of pressure behind him. Lockie Bride pushing very hard in the Phantom. Clock ticking down. Total race time of 10 minutes. Seconds on the clock of race time, so 30 seconds to the yellow flag for our race leader. So as it gets next time through, Garland Bailey will see the yellow flag. That is one more to go. Maximum concentration now from these drivers. Right, yellow flag is the call, so one more to go. So Bailey nicely through that time, so skated the boat a little bit wide in the mid-corner. But no real issues there, so through the right-hander, he's only got to get through that corner one more time to beat the check-in, so it's in his hands right now. Tyler Gilligan has managed to stay right on the back of Garland Bailey. Lockie Bride has fought his way back to this field, but a far too big an ask to come from that far back unless one of these drivers in front makes a mistake. Maxi Cook now out of turn 4 very, very nicely. A little bit unsettled, so a couple of rollers through there that Cookie's picked up, but gets it under control for the right-hander, so well done. Parks the maxed out boat now in through turn number 1. This little white Kangaroo hull took the reins of this boat earlier this season and improving out of sight from race number 1 to now. But this is going to be it, ladies and gents, so get to the bank. These guys have pushed hard all weekend, the 14 and 15 and 16-year-old crews, the future superstars of the Australian Formula Powerboat Championship Series, without doubt. And put your hands together and welcome him home. This is the checkered flag, ladies and gentlemen. The boat is Queen Bee. Your driver, Mr. Garland Bailey, in second spot with a great drive, Mr. Tyler Gilligan in epic racing. And third place with a big fight back home is Lockie Bride in the Phantom. And once more through the right-hander, one of the best kids getting around. Watch this kid come up through the ranks. It's Mr. Max Cook in, maxed out with a great weekend. Did not put a foot wrong all weekend with Maxi. So make sure you hang around here in the holding pen because we're about to bring these drivers back in and get them on the trailer, and then, ladies and gents, are we doing 550s or not? All right. We're going to go to the 550cc final race. This is when they'll throw down these wild men and women in these super fast and loose machines. And straight after that, ladies and gents, is the
we've got
big
something
final.
yellow on this.
14 boats I think we've got in this final race, so it's going to be big. We've only seen 7 on the water at any one time, so make sure you hang around for this one. We talked about the pressure of boats in close proximity. We saw it in this race. It's just about to go to a new level. We're going to increase the speed up to about 120 miles an hour. We're going to put twice as many boats out there on the same track, and anything can and will happen.
I mean, it's working.
So put your hands together for them and give them away. Your Formula 4 superstars. That's Mr. Tyler Gilligan from Epic Racing. Second boat home, the slightly wounded Lockie in the Phantom. Great job from him. Tough break in that last one, but he put in a massive performance. There's Maxie Cook. There's a smile on the dial. Gee, there's some tired faces in the cockpits of these boats as they come on home. Oi, Carlin. And his first ever checkered flag collection going absolutely perfect over here for Carlin Bay. Lucky the boat owner's not standing here next to us. He's just moved the starting block by about 8 feet. That's a pretty excited young man behind the wheel. Have a look at the smile. I guarantee you this won't be the last time we see this bloke hoisting the Aussie flag, celebrating the win in the final race. It's time to rip a skid and do a little bit of showboating. Where's he going? And he's going to make sure he gets all the way down there and gets all of his fans on the bank further down. He's just going home. He's stolen the flag and he's done a runner. It's obviously a Sydney Swan supporter, is that what it is? So they're going to be 3 up on the trim button. Build the rooster tail, do a skid, hit the gas. And we'll wait till he gets a little bit closer so at least they can hear us cheer for him. There you go, ladies and gents. Give him a round of applause. He can hear you now. He's right there. Look at the smile on the dial. Mr. Carlin Bailey. There'll be one very happy mum on the bank over there. And he's done a great job all weekend. Congratulations to Tracy Pugsley, the boat owner of the Queen Bee, for supporting this young gun in his campaign to become one of the best in the country, without doubt. All right. Going to take a quick break here. We're just about to run. We've got 2 heats coming up, I believe, of the 550. So we're going to release the hounds. And we'll come back in a second with the penultimate 550cc race for this weekend. Okay, Tommy. See you now, are you? Did you have a good time? You drove beautifully, sweetheart. Well done. You were fantastic. Do you want to do an interview? You going to do flags? You're going to help me commentate this race. Hey, just been joined over here in the commentary box by one of our superstars, the reigning AFPGP J1 champion, I reckon, Sienna King. Hello, mate. How are you?
Good.
You good? Did you have a good time out there? Because you looked unbelievable.
Yeah, it's just so rough.
It's a tiny little boat out there, and you were getting thrown around. Your head was wobbling from side to side. But I tell you what, you drove perfectly. Turn number 1. How good was that? Yeah, it's going. Yeah.
We were going up and then
Wow, it looked pretty tough from here. I said to everybody, it looks really smooth, but it's not out there. You can see that boat bouncing around. Now, this is your dad's boat, yeah?
Yeah. Really old.
It's really old. It looks really fast, though. Really old. It's probably, how old's that? 100? 60, yeah, he's 60. He looks like 60. Yeah, I hope you're listening to this one, Kingy. But you did a beautiful job out there. You were perfect. You know this is handicap racing. Your times were so good. I really couldn't be proud of you. It's the first time I've seen you race, and you've done a great job. We're going to see your series again, or what?
Yeah, we're going to try and get down here.
I think that'd be great. I think you should get Dad to buy you a helicopter and you just fly in, because now you're obviously a superstar. Do you have anything else to say? Anyone you want to say thank you to?
Thank you, Mum and Dad. I appreciate you being again. It's a very long drive from my dad.
Oh, well done. There you go. Sienna King, ladies and gentlemen. Future superstar without doubt. All right, better check up on the action out on the water as we rip around 25 550s. So race start out in front. Now we've got Rob Talesi out in front, but just to his inside, Kelsey Dempster. Hello, I haven't picked up the start of this race, but KD, the dictator, is right up there as well. So these are two very, very accomplished pedallers. Kelsey running the stock 25, so she's down a little bit on horsepower and outright speed from Rob Talesi in front of her, but doing it beautifully right now. Tate Williamson, the yellow Maverick, you can see his helmet pivoting right and left, so he's trying to get a read on where the competitors are. And Glenn Seckham, we saw him come right off the pace in that race previously. He has found form again, so he's now off in the hunt, so sitting in about 4th spot right now. The blue Addicted Racing Machine of Jackson second. That beautiful 550 tunnel hull is making its way forward in these ripping conditions out there. So here we're having a magic carpet ride. The other drivers of these boats will be copping a bit of a hiding. I tell you what, the boat speed on Rob Talesi is ridiculous right now. That boat's got to be pushing 60 mile an hour. So that's 100 kilometres an hour out of a 25 550 out there on the water. It's very deceiving. We are a long way from this track. I can tell you that boat is flying. Right, further back in the field, we've got Glenn Seckham, the professor, driving the Dun Dirt Cheap. Just behind him, his son, Max Seckham. The blue machine, geez, copping some big hits and some big air in Max in second. That's the Dirty Deeds machine. And Jake Jackson, so his cousin, right behind him in the black Armorine Jackson's boat. So a bit deceptive. There's some big hits being had by this 550 cruise out on the water right now, especially through the just in front of that right-hander. So we do get quite a bit of a bounce-back wave off the break wall out in front of the Mulwala Water Ski Club, and these guys having to do it pretty tough as they roll through. Rob Talesi now out in front. Kelsey Dempster has found a little bit more pace, so they've been fine-tuning this boat. And the Dictator in second. She's holding off the tunnel boat behind her, and that's an incredible thing, because these boats running in completely different categories. Dempster with a stock 25 engine and just corners to the inside of the tunnel boat. She'll be loving it. She'll be looking over at Jacko second right beside her, and she's going to make him earn this. She's a ruthless competitor. Kels has some great racecraft. And second needs to give her a little bit of race room, and he does that. So KD just having to sit to the inside of his wash. So held her a little bit tight, but that was pretty fair. Might have cost her maybe a boat length, as she had to hold a tighter line than she would have wanted. So Kelsey Dempster's cousin, Tate Williamson, in the Maverick, the yellow machine now. Let's watch him through this right-hander. Yellow flag fly, so doing it beautifully in the Maverick. There's Glenn Seckham in the Dun Dirt Cheap, Dirty Deeds right behind him. So Father Glenn racing alongside two sons. Max, whoa, the Addicted 550 in the back, caught a bit of wind then. So Jackson second, got it right on the ragged edge. Got to be careful with this boat, because it does have enough pace to flip itself up and over. So really pushing hard. He wants to beat Rob Talesi home. This is Sheep Stations right now, so pushing 110%. We've got Tay Jackson on the cans, I think, talking to the Addicted race machine out there. So there's going to be a checkered flag. Watch this race for the finish. Turn to number 4. Here we go. Talesi to the inside. Second to the outside. It's on like Donkey Kong. Now he's got to leave racing room. They are gun on to gun on, ladies and gentlemen. The checkered flag is flying. Who's it going to be? This side is second. Inside is Talesi. I tell you what, here comes Talesi with a charge. There is nothing between these two. Addicted to Jackson second by half a point length over Rob Talesi. Kelsey Dempster, you rock star. The first 25 home with a fantastic drive. Tate Williamson, the Maverick, running hard at the pointy end of the field. Here comes Glenn Zackham home. Gee, they've improved that boat in the last couple of races, so really sitting nicely. There's Max Zackham, big young gun, first series in the 25, and Jake Jackson is the novice. First ever race weekend piloting that black machine out there, Armory Jackson, and doing a fantastic job of it. Wow, that was a good race. So we're about to back that one up, I think, ladies and gents, where you're going to go, we've got 550s again. So they're going to head right up to the starting dock. They're going to line themselves up in their new start grid order, and we are going to do it all again. Boys are coming to play. Andrew Chilvers, wowee. Second pole in the big game. That's a absolute phenomenal effort from this new upstart. Renowned for being a very likeable personality in pit lane. That's going to change now, I can assure you. Because he's forced his way into the reckoning. So last about 25, 550 crews making their way back up to the milling area. So Murphy not wasting any time out on the start boat. He's gone 2 flags, so wants to see him come around this corner and get in their lines. The giant praying mantis-like Zach Murphy, 16-foot long arms, hoists that flag high. One down, so the lineup not too bad. They're pretty happy with it. Holds them. There we go, there's the start, ladies and gentlemen. Let's have a look at it. Inside Dempster, Williamson, Maverick, second, is third. From pole, Max, second, is fourth, the blue boat. Rob Talesi, the orange and black machine, coming out of fifth. Jake Jackson out of sixth, and Addicted Racing, wedging its way into the middle here. Got to find your way through. Gee, they've driven well. All nice and clean through that all weekend. Credit to those drivers. Tightens up a little bit here, so Dempster getting shoveled back a little bit. So beg your pardon, Dempster out in front. So that's second getting shoveled back a little bit. And the pressure's coming on the inside from his son, Max. And right behind him is his other son, Jackson. It is all happening in the second household. There will be tears on the car on the way home tonight. Jake Jackson doing a beautiful job in this in his inaugural weekend. This is the first time we've seen this young gun in the 25. It's a big step coming from juniors to 25s, I can assure you. And like a shot from a cannon, the Addicted Racing Machine rounds up 3 boats. Running the wide line in turn number 3. Turn 4, Dempster out in front, being pursued, hot on her heels. Here's Rob Talesi. Oh, big hit from Talesi. How did he stay in that boat? I do not know. Goes around hard. Oh, gee whiz, that's close in the back of the spray. So a little bit of evasive action from Jake Jackson there. Had to lift a little bit. Maxi second in front of him. The 2 cousins not wanting to swap paintwork out there. Addicted 550. You can see that boat dancing from sponsor to sponsor. He is 110% tapped. Dempster to the inside. Talesi running a little bit wider. Tony Williamson, the yellow machine in the Maverick. Glenn second. Having to run a wider line to stay out of the spray. Jake Jackson. Geez, pushing hard. Almost hooking the boat that time through in turn number 1. Oh, some big hits from Jackson out the back there. It's a tough place to be when you're chasing 6 or 7 boats. The cross washers from all the boats in front of you just combine to give you some very, very rough, dirty water. Hard to find a way through, and you can see that with these chasing boats. The battle out in front, so it is still Kelsey Dempster, the dictator, holding off Rob Talesi. So the 25 horsepower doing an incredible job to stay in front of the modified 550 right behind her. Oh, look at the pace that they're taking into these corners. This is 120% commitment. If you come into a corner that hot and get it wrong, the boat will bite, it'll hook sideways, and you will Superman yourself 25, 30 feet out of that boat into the water. So they are 100% committed here. Dempster, beautiful in that right-hand sequence. Look at the way that boat is just hanging in the air. Rob Talesi's really got a handle on this new machine as well. Tate Williamson looks to his inside. He's all clear to the inside. Checks over his right shoulder. He's all good there, so he can run his own line through the corner. Very nice is Williamson. Clean second as well. He's through clean. Max second now. Just keep an eye on Jake Jackson, the black Armourine Jackson's machine. First time behind the wheel. And he's hanging on the back of this pack, which is an absolute credit to him. These are a tough boat to drive. Mate, with a big push now, well out in front. The F3 tunnel boat, sorry, the F5 tunnel boat. The Addicted Racing Machine of Jackson second. You can see the way this boat is leaping off the water. He is trimmed to 110%. That breeze just dropping out, so he's pushing the envelope now. This is going to be yellow flag for him this time through. And I tell you what, Kelsey Dempster is still hanging on to the lead of this race in the monos. I don't even know how she's doing this. She is absolutely working 110%. You can see her there, just looks over her right shoulder. She can hear Talesi coming. She knows he's here, he's there somewhere. Watch the racecraft through turn number one. My bet she's going to run a wide line and push him out wide. And she does exactly that. So some unbelievable racecraft from Kelsey Dempster. Knew he was sitting to her outside, so he pushed her wide. Just got to be careful he doesn't try and stop to the inside and run a tight line. Now he's stepped inside the wash now. So here's the push. So KD needs to look over her left shoulder and make sure she doesn't leave a big window into turn number 3. She'll close him down slightly on this left-hand dogleg. So Talesi having to move to the far side, but he's trying to go around the outside the last 3 corners, hasn't paid off. So keep your eyes on him now. So he's going to try and look for an inside run around Dempster. It's the only way he's going to get past her. She's making that boat 35 feet wide right now. At the head of the field, here is your race winner, Jackson second, ladies and gentlemen, into the Addicted F5 550. Take nothing away from that young man. He has driven faultlessly. Keep your eyes peeled on the last corner. They are gunnel to gunnel. This is going to be a drag race. Kelsey Dempster, the white and silver dictator machine, is out in front. Has she done enough? I don't know. The right-hander, she's through clean. Here comes Talesi. There's nothing in it. The heads are down. The checkered flag flying high. It's Kelsey Dempster, the dictator, bringing it home. Wow, she's gonna love that one. What a drive. And Tate Williamson in Maverick is now under pressure for a charge at the finish line, but he's got it home. Tate Williamson, the Maverick, home from Glen Seckham in Done Dirt Cheap. There's Max in Dirty Deeds. And give that man in the black boat, the youngest competitor out there, Mr. Jake Jackson, a huge round of applause for getting it done in his first ever weekend. That was big. Team Principal Stuart Jackson, very, very satisfied with the performance of his son, Jake Jackson, no doubt. Brought the boat back in one piece. And you can see the camaraderie of these crews as they all back off to line up and do their final cool down lap, gunnel to gunnel. That is one of the things I love about this category, I love about this sport. The camaraderie between the competitors is without doubt one of the strongest they have. They take great risks racing these boats, the 25 horsepower, they're fast, they're small, and they have a cracking time doing it. Yeah, I'm doing that too. Got a bit of sticky tape. I'm going to sticky tape to the dash. I'll pretend I'm it works. Tell the good regular. Jess is now referring to as my future ex-husband Dave. Jess is now referring to as my future ex-husband Dave. She's going to play the wide on it. Over there. Wobble. Take about for 10 minutes. Go. In. Right. That's Harry here. It's Harry here. I haven't seen him all that. What are they doing, Gav? Alright, so the last of our Formula GP boats making its way out of the pondage. Then we get a chance to welcome back the 25 550s. This is going to be big, ladies and gents. There's still two more on the ramp and it's already jam-packed over here at the starting dock. This is going to be very, very cool. Some pretty serious faces on the crew. They know the amount of pressure that's going to come in a very short space of time as we unleash the hounds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and two more over here. That makes 13. We got 13 in total. We ended up with 13 times. Lucky 13. There goes Mr. Mick Cole, mate. Team New Zealand on the water. His first ever Formula GP final. Racing a borrowed boat. Come over here to have a good look at things. I guarantee you he's going to come up later and say, that's it, Murph, I'm bringing my boat. Big shout out to the Smith family for making this possible. Who have you got cans for? Who have you got? Yeah. Kia ora, bro. Cheers, bro. Pilot Paul Whitten. And his first ever Formula GP final. Put your hands together for our 25 550s, ladies and gentlemen. There's Tate Williamson, the man in the Maverick. The first weekend out there for that man, Mr. Jake Jackson and Armarine Jacksons. Well done. Kelsey Dempster, ladies and gentlemen, driver of the Dictator. Glenn second, done dirt cheap. Jacko second, look at the grin as he cuts the old man off. Roberto Wulatolesi, the mad Sydney concreter to the stars. And big bad Maxi second in the Dirty Deeds done dirt cheap machine. Wow, they put on a show this weekend, the 25 550s. They'll be tired, they'll be battered, they'll be bruised, and they'll be incredibly happy. No, probably not. We're about to go to the final. Oh, sorry. Shane, how far down can you come? Ready to that? Right, Joe? Yep. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is finals time. This is the big final, the Australian Formula Powerboat Grand Prix, round number 2. We've got a massive field. We have 13 boats that have made the grade. There are some unbelievable stories that have developed over the course of this weekend. We've seen boats upside down and back on the water. We've seen a new young gun make his way into second spot on the grid. Ladies and gentlemen, they have just left for their sighting lap. Thank you for joining us on Working On It live streaming. We are beaming this live around the world. It is going to be on very, very shortly. This field will be making its way back into the starting dock where 13 boats will head across and do battle for the championship for round number 2 here at the magnificent Lake Mulwala on the border of New South Wales and Victoria here in Australia. Thanks for joining us, and let's get a look at this field. No, I can't. I've got to talk. All right, you can sense the anticipation. It's starting to build, ladies and gentlemen. There's an air of expectancy down here on the bank. We know this is tough. We know this is pressure cooker stuff. We're 13 of the hardest charging Formula Powerboat drivers anywhere in Australia and around the world. We'll do battle to get the drop and get through turn number 2. First time around. Let's go through our field. Out of pole number 1, he's wearing boat number 1. He's the reigning Australian champion. It is Mr. Rhys Coles in the Butler Vehicles machine. Pole number 2, where did this man come from? Completely unseated at the start of this weekend. His name is Andrew Chilvers from the Chilvers race team, sponsored by Middy's Electrical. He has been a revelation here at Lake Mulwala, and he has found himself at the front of a very, very good field. He runs out of pole number 2 in his second ever Australian Formula Powerboat Grand Prix Championship event. Pole number 3 is the Iceman, Simon Troy, the mainline Dynalog 88 machine. He was our fastest qualifier, worked hard, and he's made his way into the top 3 for the big all-important flag drop here in the final. Pole 4, another Cinderella story. They've been promising this for a long, long time. This is Mr. Paul Sane in the Trim King. He will be the first of our Optimax competitors away here this weekend. The boat looking incredible, and Paul Sane driving the absolute wheels of it. Just outside of him is boat number 281, Mr. Adam Breen. The Cracker Racing team, they are back into the series, and they are here in the final with a top 5 start. Pole number 6 is Mr. Ewan Bricker for TBR Racing. We saw this boat upside down yesterday. They put this thing back together. He has worked his way forward. He will be one to watch. Just to his outside is the Force Roofing SST powered machine of the male model from up there in Sydney. To his outside, Matty Smith, boat number 65, this new Babber. Just alongside him, his son Joel Smith. So the Babbers are lined up, gunnel to gunnel. Coming into the outside of this first section of the grid is Steve Gilligan, the Armourine Jackson's epic race machine. They've been dogged by steering issues all weekend. They have finally got this boat together. They are in a wide pole and they have made the grid. we have 3 provisional drivers. And the fastest qualifier of those is Mr. Hadley Deegan, the blue machine, all the way from Ulverston in Tasmania, the Deegan Marine Racing Machine, boat number 66. Just to his outside is the yellow and blue Smith Family Racing owned Pew, piloted this weekend by Mr. Nick Coles. The New Zealand superstar, the Mitre 10 Mega Man, has come over to get a taste of the Australian Championship Series. And to the outside is our first time runner, Mr. Paul Witten. You can sense the excitement, ladies and gents. It is dead calm down here. Coles out of 1. Chilvers out of 2. Troy from 3. Sane running 4. Breen out of 5. Pole 6 is Ewan Brecker. Ron Beasley, our Australian referee, working down at the starting dock to ensure these boats are all pointing across the course. The 2 yellow cans are their destination. The word is through from Beasley. He is satisfied. We are ready for a start, ladies and gentlemen. We have 3 2.5s in our first 3 positions. They will get the drop. Paul Sane, the first Optimax runner. 2 flags. Flag down, hold your breath. We go racing, they are away. Great start from Reece Coles. Chilvers has gone with him. They are gunner regano. There's nothing between the top 3. Simon the Iceman Troy is alongside him. Paul Sane with the Optimax getting bundled back a little bit. Adam Breen's got a boat length in front of him. We are almost to the turn, boy. It looks to me like Coles. Coles is around, Chilvers is around. All 3 of our front runners are through. Remainder of field, we are through clean. Watch them into turn number 3 for the first time. It's Reece Coles in Butler Vehicles. To his outside is Chilvers on the inside following tight. Simon Troy now pushing hard. He's got to leave room for Chilvers to the inside. This is a massive amount of pressure. Straight line run. Turn number 1. Simon the Iceman Troy. He's got half a boat length. Chilvers is there. He's got to leave enough room. This is going to be tight. Hold your breath. Oh, Chilvers has to mend his course. Chooses to run to the outside. The Iceman moves up in a second spot. It is all happening. Look at the battle in the middle of the pack. Ewan Bricker moving forward. Matt Smith is on a push. Dino Allison, he's charging hard as well. Paul Sane now, he's moved himself up into the back of this front pack. So let's take a breath in the commentary box. Out in front, Reece Coles in Butler Vehicles. Simon Troy, the mainline Dynalog machine, put a very, very tough move on newcomer Andrew Chilvers, and it paid off. Chilvers having to take evasive action and step to the outside of the wash in turn number 1. Now under pressure from Paul Sane. Clean through the right-hander. This is quality racing, ladies and gentlemen. So Chilvers trying to settle the Middies racing machine down. Paul Sane pushing hard to his outside. He's gone in hard. He wants to let Chilvers know that he's there. Just up behind him, Adam Breen watching this unfold. He's in the box seat. Look at the spray and the mist on the water. This is on for young and old. Stephen Gilligan still at the starting dock, so it's gone wrong for the Marine racing team. The battle now, watch this battle between the Middies electrical machine of Chilvers and Paul Sane, the 2.5 litre Carvey. The battle for 3rd and 4th. You can see the electric pink of the Middies machine with the chrome side panels. Through this right-hander now, the gunmetal grey of the Aussie F1 Composites. Paul Sane switches to the inside. Now Chilvers needs to shut the door tight. He does it, so Sane's forced wide. So good tactic move there. It took guts, it took courage. It's not easy to turn in front of a chasing boat, but he's done it well and he's opened up a slight gap. Nick Coles now doing battle rear of field in this borrowed boat, the Pew, running a very tight inside line. He's never driven the boat before this weekend. He's come over, stepped in it, and already he's up into the mix in this field. This is a big, long race. That initial phase, the heart rate's through the roof. The mouth is dry, the hands are sweaty. It's time to regroup. Take a big breath, try and relax. Think about your race plan as the men in front. Reece Coles, the series champion from last year, leads the way to Simon Troy. Andrew Chilvers running into third. There's Paul Sain in fourth. Out of fifth, Adam Breen now. He's putting pressure on Sain in front of him. Sixth, Matt Smith with a cracking drive. Seventh, Ewan Bricker. So Smith's made up a spot over Ewan Bricker. So this brand new Babber, imported from England only recently, is starting to pay dividends. Dean Allison, the gunmetal grey Mulgard, running the SST 120, looking very, very strong in the midfield, holding off Joel Smith. Now Simon Troy is electing to push, so he's out the front, so he is now pushing up onto the back of Reece Coles. He's done this enough to know you cannot let Reece Coles relax. This is the blue machine of Reece Coles, the Butler vehicles, through the left-hander in the back chute. Simon Troy running the DAC hull, the white hull with the red canopy lid, is now trying to push. He's got to close that gap. He's got to put pressure on Reece Coles. Try and force the error. Now Chilvers settling in nicely, so he's done a great job. Remember, this is his first or second ever weekend in this series, currently running in top three, but Paul Sain is looking very menacing behind him. This is the Trim King machine, that beautiful silver machine, the orange race number indicating the Mercury Optimax 200XS on the back of that boat. Don McClymont preparing the Middies electrical engine, so we know that's going to be a strong 2.5 on board Chilvers. But this is a big, long final haul. So the field's starting to step themselves out a little bit. The challenges will come and go as this race unfolds. Boats burn off fuel. The attitude of the boat changes. Driver fatigue sets in. Arm pump. Concentration is absolutely everything. And at the current pace of this front field, they are going to have to contend with back markers as this field unfolds. Picking up that green and grey machine, the Babber coming through the right-hander right now, so that's Matt Smith. Now he's actually starting to come under a little bit of pressure from Ewan Bricker in TBR. An absolute credit to Bricker for getting that boat back together. As I said, they blew the boat over in the qualifying session. They put the thing back together and they have made their way into the top 5 position in this big final race. But Bricker starting to close, so he's just up on the rooster tail of the Babber in front of him. Ewan Bricker racing out of Melbourne, Victoria, and the push is coming. So watch him now through turn number 4, far left of our course. Smith, very nice through there in the Babber, just throws the boat in hard, stands it up. And he's actually made some gains that time because Bricker was closing on him, but he really went hyper aggressive through turn 4, and it has paid off. All right, front of the field. Coming into turn number 4 now is Reece Coles in the Butler vehicles. Just picked up Nick Coles, the Kiwi superstar. The little Pew a little bit outgunned in this category, looking for some rough water from this boat, but Nick Coles will be loving every minute of this behind the wheel. So Butler vehicles through turn number 1. Simon Troy in the DAC, chasing hard, the mainline Dynalog machine. There goes Chilvers, the Middies electrical machine, glinting in the sun. Paul Sain through clean as well. Adam Breen, a little bit of a lonely race, sitting back there in P5 right now. The Cracker Racing Machine, big sponsor group on board supporting Adam and his crew here this weekend. Dino Allison looking very, very solid in the Mulgard. Joel Smith really starting to find some pace out of that yellow Babber. Has big expectations of this boat, so he's had to completely learn the whole thing again. New steering system, new geometry, new dash, the whole lot. It's a brand new machine. We expect to see this young gun at the pointy end of the field very, very soon. Time ticking down. Reece Coles pushing at the front of the field. So just coming up alongside Paul Whitten now, the arborist to the stars. So Coles through turn number 4, very nicely done. So Paul Whitten gets the message from his crew, so makes a little bit of room there. Doing a great job in his first ever race weekend, this brand new package. There's Simon Troy to the inside of him, so room left, well played. Paul Whitten does not impede the overtaking boat whatsoever, so no time lost there from Troy. Andrew Chilvers now starting to range up on the inside of Nick Coles from New Zealand. So very, very quick in the corners, that yellow and blue blue of Nick Coles. Huge amount of experience behind the wheel, but lacking a little bit in the top end. So just watch them through now. Turn number 4, you got Chilvers and Coles. So Chilvers to the inside. Coles moves out, gives him a little bit of race room. So that will be muchly appreciated. Now Chilvers fighting back. He's actually made a little bit of a gap between him and Paul Sain. Now the lap traffic getting very, very heavy at the front of the field. Butler vehicles now. I tell you what, Simon Troy is on a charge here. Have a look at him through the back street, right in the middle of those 2 yellow cans. Simon Troy is coming. Reece Coles now only 3 boat lengths in front of him. Just in front, the first blue boat, that's Hadley Deegan from Tasmania. Reece Coles, Butler vehicles, here comes Troy. He's looking for a run up the inside into turn number 4. Deegan's in the middle of all this. Troy has to opt for the outside. Reece Coles puts the pressure on, shuts the door. Now Deegan's going to be in the way here. It's not intended, but he's going to have to move to the side, which he does. Simon Troy is on the charge. Keep your eyes peeled on these two into turn number 1 right now. Reece Coles is through. The mainline Dynalog machine is through. Hadley Deegan watching this all unfold. There goes Chilvers, looking very, very strong for a top 3 position right now. Paul Sain, he's doing the hard yards as well. Nick Coles goes through. Adam Breen currently in 5th. Gets through that right-hander very, very nicely. Now Matt Smith and Ewan Bricker still doing battle. They are glued to each other. So the word has obviously been given to Simon Troy. It is push time. And here he comes. He's definitely making ground on the way through here. What can he do through the right-hander? It'll only take a split-second hesitation, and he's going to be all over the back of the Butler Vehicles machine. But Reece Coles, he has got more experience than anyone out here on this circuit, with the exception of Matt Smith. He's going to make that boat as humanly wide as possible. Troy caught up in the spray, so looking to the left, looking to the right, do not look away. When it comes, it will come in a split second at the head of the field. Stone Real Estate Butler Vehicles getting their money's worth as the reigning champ continues to lead this field. Joel Smith gives racing room as the battle pack makes their way up alongside him. Coles is through the right-hander, Smith through the right-hander, Simon Troy now. Just lost a couple of boat lengths that time through. Runs a much, much wider line, so trying to open up this turn number 2 into the back straight. The blue machine coming to the middle of the back straight is Reece Coles, the race leader. The red and white machine is Simon Troy. Lap traffic, Joel Smith, Hadley Deegan, Paul Whitten, the white and pink Middies electrical machine is Andrew Chilvers, currently sitting in 3rd spot. Now Paul Sain's come right up on the back, so keep your eyes peeled if you're in the Sain Chilvers camp, because there's a challenge coming from Paul Sain. They're in turn number 4 right now. Chilvers through clean, Paul Sain through. Oh, he's on the inside. So the 2 grey boats, gunnel to gunnel, outside, I think it is Paul Whitten on the outside. The Trim King, he's not going to let this one lay. He's one hell of a competitor. Oh, runs a bit wide. Paul Whitten having to take evasive action there. Thought the Trim King had turned in, so went with him, but he hadn't. lightning reflexes from Witten there could have been very, very ugly. All right, back to your race leaders at turn number 4. Coles is through, looking to drift through this right-hander right now. Simon Troy's going nowhere. He's 4 or 5 boat lengths behind him in the main line Dynalog machine. Clock ticks down. Silver's doing a beautiful job. His beautiful wife, Gail, looking on, smiling, grimacing, holding breath. He's doing it absolutely beautifully right now. Picks up another lap traffic boat in Hadley Deegan. Oh, a bit tight there with Paul Sane and Deegan. Could be the angles. Matt Smith being put under relentless pressure by Ewan Bricker. The yellow flag is flying, ladies and gents. One more lap. There's your race leader. Let's watch him through now. The blue machine heading into turn number 1. Reece Coles. Simon Troy right behind him. Now where is Chilvers? He's sitting there in the spray. I thought I'd lost him. The heart sank for a second. Keep your eyes at the front of the field. That pink middies machine, that's your 3rd place. Paul Sane in 4th. We've got a lap to go. Can the Iceman get it done? He has 2 more corners to do. Butler Vehicles into turn number 3. He's through clean. Simon Troy in through 3 as well. The gap is closing. Is there enough time? 1 more corner for Reece Coles. And we are into our last lap. The checkered flag is flying high, ladies and gents. Put your hands together for your round 2 winner, Mr. Reece Coles in Butler Vehicles. Simon, the Iceman Troy, what a charge. In the main line, Dynalog machine with 2nd spot. And go wild for the almost Andrew Chalmers. The Biddies Electrical with a podium at round 2 of the Australian Championship Series. Paul Sane, Trim King, what a drive. Just could not get it done. They will be stoked with that points haul. Adam Breen, welcome home right up at the pointy end of the field. Top 5 for Breeny. Matty Smith is back safe and sound, and Ewan Breger, what a race. Whew. Well done, boys. Well done, well done. Wowee, what a run. I can see Gail Chilvers has just breathed out right now. She has just taken a breath, held her breath for the last 20 minutes. And what a drive. That was unbelievable. We need to congratulate every single competitor. That was some of the tightest, cleanest Formula GP powerboat racing I've had the privilege to witness. That was cool. That was a good race. And it is time to get to the bank and thank the combatants of round number 2. What a weekend. There was some of the tightest, cleanest racing I've ever experienced. Simon Troy, ladies and gentlemen, your 2nd place getter. What a run. The men from the Victorian Outboard Club are about to go bananas because here's your rock star, Andrew Chili Chilvers in Middies Electrical. Podium for the big gun. Yeah, you should do a skid. The always awesome Paul Sane in the Trim King. He'll be pumped with that. They deserve that result. Fought hard for it all weekend, did not put a foot wrong. And they will be celebrating tonight. Look at the smile on this bloke. His first ever race weekend in a Formula Powerboat. Paul Witten. What a run. Cracker Racing fans, go wild for Mr. Adam Breen. Top 5 run in his 2nd hit out. What a run. Keep up and waving. Mr. Joel Smith, ladies and gentlemen, this new rig, boat number 66. The Baba is home safe and sound.